All right, questions, comments, rather. Let's hear it.
So we do have a question from Mr. Tim Drinkwater.
Mr. Tim Drinkwater.
He asked, how do you track your organic ranking?
So organic ranking, we track with SEMrush. You can also use Moz. You can use Ahrefs. So we track it for us, for all of our clients, we add in our competitors. So we have paid services that we pay for it. If you guys want to track yours, I don't know how much SEMrush would cost an individual user, maybe $50, $75, $100 a month. We spend significantly more than that because we're tracking 20, 30 clients plus all their competitors. But the key is that you want to track it. You can track it at a national level. You can track it at a state level, a local level by putting in a zip code. So for most of our clients, we say, let's track their organic rankings nationally. So if anybody in the United States searches, where would they show up? And then specifically to their focused geographic location. So maybe it's Charlotte, North Carolina, Chicago, Illinois, and we'll add multiple tracking. I think you can do up to 50 per project. Add those in there because we want to see how they're showing up in different cities, different focus. And then from there, we also track 3 competitors next to them. So we see where they're at, beginning of the month, end of the month, and then to the right of that is going to be their competitors. Where were they at beginning of the month, end of the month for these search phrases? We track that pretty extensively because it gives you indications into who's making improvements, who's having losses. If we see that a competitor is slipping in a specific area, we may double down on that strategy for that keyword and say we got to push harder to really dominate it. But we track using SEMrush. You can use Moz, M-O-Z. You can use Ahrefs. Lots of tools out there. There might be some cheaper tools, but SEMrush, SEMrush, those guys are the best.
Geofencing being used for employment ads as well.
Yeah, so you can use geofencing for pretty much anything. They've been at a consumer level forever. Like if you think about, and after we got into it pretty deep, we did this internally, and Regina was like, no wonder why I was getting these ads. So if you walk into a gym and then you start to get ads for food on your phone or for different things that are relevant to a gym, that's because somebody geofenced that gym. So at a consumer level, direct to consumer or B2C, I would say if I have an ice cream shop, I want to hit up all of the restaurants in the area and geofence those. And maybe it's only specific restaurants. And I also want to geofence all of the other ice cream shops in the area. Maybe I want to geofence something that's similar to it, like, hey, like a place for the family to go to where they go to like an arcade or something like that. I want to hit those people up with ads about my ice cream shop because it's relevant to them at the time. So they pull up their phone, they start searching something, and they're like, "Oh, ice cream? That sounds good." That's one way that a lot of companies have been using it forever. Twisting it into B2B, especially in industrial, that's where our strategy is pretty specific with going after company locations, trade shows, etc. We've been doing it now exclusively for about 9 months in a lot of areas after we got the system completely perfect, and it's been producing pretty good results. At a bare minimum, it's focusing on brand awareness. So going back to your question, you've seen it for employment stuff. Yes, you can geofence a school. You can geofence a specific area. I mean, even with like, if you're trying to hire machinists for your company, Tim, I would go after Facebook and run paid ad campaigns on Facebook and on Instagram for a specific zip code around your location based on the person's interests. So you're looking for people that are around Janesville, Wisconsin, maybe within 20 miles, 25 miles, depending on how far people are willing to drive to you, and then going after their likes or their interest. And you can do that super cheap. You're talking like a couple pennies per impression. So those are great campaigns to run. You don't necessarily have to use geofencing. You can just use Facebook's algorithm for that. But if you did want to, yeah, geofence a school, geofence a trade, geofence a competitor. If they're local to you, run ads saying, hey, we've got an opening for this CNC machinist or this program or whatever. You can see some decent traction there. If you guys got value out of that content, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. If you're not already following me on LinkedIn, head over to LinkedIn, hit that follow button. And if you want to listen to this in podcast form and all of the content, type in industrial sales and marketing with me on every major podcast platform.